Hello there, welcome back to another video, and in this video we are gonna see the code for multivariate regression using gradient descent. And I'm not gonna use any library like sklearn for that. And one more thing, that I'm gonna use my previous code that we wrote for linear regression, because 90% of the code is going to be same and we just have to tweak some things. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the coding. Guys, this is the code that we wrote in our linear regression series, and as you can see here, we have implemented the gradient descent and everything from scratch. So I have not used any uh, libraries like sklearn, but we have to make some changes, and the major change that we have to make is we have to make a change in this line. Okay, so let me explain you why. So we had something like this: y is equal to theta 0 plus theta 1 x. So this was our hypothesis in the last video, or in the linear regression series. Okay, but in the last video we saw that for our multivariate regression, our hypothesis is going to be something like this: theta 0 plus theta 1 theta 1 x1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3 x3, and so on. So now if you see, we have a very hard coded line here, because if we have let's suppose 10 10 attributes or 10 inputs to predict our output. So let's take we have x0 to x9. Okay, so this line is not going to work, and we cannot write for every situation, because it can have any number of attributes. So it is going to be better if we write a more generic line. So what I'm going to do, let me just rub it and let me explain you. Okay, so this is our code: y is equal to theta 0 plus theta 1 x1 plus theta 2 x2 plus theta 3 x3. Okay, so this is our code, and what we can do is basically we can multiply it together. So let's take some theta 0 like this. So let's take this is theta x0 x1 x2. It has 1 2 3 3 4 5 5 6 7. Let's take this. We have our x like this, and for our theta, as we have uh, three attributes or three inputs, so we are going to have 3 theta like this and 1 theta like this. So this theta is c. You cannot see up there. So this theta is c, and every other theta are basically slopes. Okay, so we I'm not gonna consider it right now, I'm just going to consider it then. Okay, so let's take uh, theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3. Now let's look at our formula. It is saying theta 1 into x1, and x1 is this. Okay, theta 2 into x2, x2 is this, and theta 3 into x3. Oh sorry, I have taken it, this should be x1. Let's take x1 x2 x3. So we are going to multiply them like this. So now let's just try to multiply them. Okay, so what it is going to do, it is going to make something like this. It will multiply this, or let me just change to another color. It will multiply this with this. Okay, then it will multiply this with this, then it will multiply this with this, and it is going to add this. So now if you will see, it is going to multiply all of them together, and then it is going to add them. So uh, it will multiply them together, it is going to generate a number, then it will add, it is going to multiply them together, it is going to generate a number, then it is going to add again, and we will have three numbers. So now if you will see closely, then you can see that x1 is multiplied with theta 1, x2 is multiplied with theta 2, and x3 is multiplied with theta 3, and it is going to be same for all of them. So it is going to be same for all of them. Okay, so we can see that this formula is going to work if we will just multiply them, like if we do a just multiplication like this, x into theta. As we saw here, that if we will just multiply matrix multiply x with theta, then you are going to have this result here. But now we have to consider our y-intercept also, so that is going to be theta 0. So for this, what we can do is we can also add this into our let's say into our matrix multiplication. So for this, we are going to make a dummy attribute. So let's take this as x0. Okay, and our dummy attribute will have 1 1 and 1. And now what it is going to do, we will also have a line like this here, theta 0, because this is the theta 0. Now if you will multiply theta 0 with 1, then the output is always going to be 1, so it doesn't matter. So what we are going to do is we are going to add a dummy value to this x0, and then we will just multiply them together like this, and our output will be y. So this is what we are going to do, and this is a little bit complicated, but you need to know the matrix multiplication to understand this better. Okay, so now let's just change our code. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use like this np dot, and I'm going to multiply x comma theta. Okay, I know that I have not added, so this was x1 x2 x3. I have not added x0 anywhere right now in this code, because we are going to add that when we are going to implement this code into making a project. Okay, very basic project that is going to be a house price prediction. So I'm going to add this into that data. But now if I'm just supposing that I have added this data, and now I can just multiply it like this. Okay,